Hey everyone, this is Pete Carmasino, Managing Director here at Chaikin Analytics. Thanks for joining me for our stock spotlight today. And today's stock is Best Buy, as you can see. So let's get right into it and take a look at the chart here on Best Buy here on Chaikin Analytics. And I want to go over a few things. And the reason I chose this stock is because yesterday, Raymond James, great firm, had upgraded their target price from $100, which it had already achieved um, early on in the month, to about $135. And, I thought it kind of interesting because here we have our power gauge rating, which back on May 14th had turned bullish, right? And also, our relative strength has basically showed strength since roughly about the end of April, which is always a good indicator on our system. And really, we got some confirmation even prior to earnings. And how do I know that? Well, I'm looking at the stock was slightly oversold. We had positive relative strength, and look what happened. Somewhere around that week of May 11th, at the end of the week, our power gauge turned bullish. So what's going on under the hood is that there's a lot of complex algorithms that we're basically looking at every single day overnight and spitting out the rating on the next day. So what's nice is that you get a constant look at what's happening in a name like Best Buy. Whereas this entire move from, let's talk about the day we went bullish, we'll call it May 14th, that close was around $77.20. We'll call that, if you can see that there in the black box where it says close 77.19. Let's call it 77.20, right? Next day, the stock wound up moving to as high as 79 and as low as 76. So it was a little volatile, but it also closed up another dollar and change to 78.60. So you had a few days to take positions, albeit ahead of earnings, which is typically not a great time. You could have waited and then rode the trend higher. Now, it's interesting because there's a few other firms out there that are retail specialists like Telsey Advisory Group. They've had an outperform, and rightfully so, on the stock. RBC was also rating it a sector perform. And then even yesterday, the Best Buy stock was being talked about at the halftime report on CNBC. There was a trader on there that said, he had taken a position late March, early April, great trade, but had trouble sticking with that trade. Now, that is a professional person talking about that, whereas our system gives you the tools and the confidence to help you worry less, so to speak, to kind of stay with the trend, see what's happening. And Best Buy, rightfully so, has benefited from not only the work from home, but even coming back to school and maybe school from home type activity that we're going to be seeing maybe again in this fall. I hope we don't, but we could be seeing that. But work from home for sure has benefited Best Buy. People ordering printers, people ordering scanners, whatever the case may be, upgrading their laptops or maybe even getting larger monitors, even desktop computers might have had a surge in sales. I'm just curious to see because look, having to work from home, requires a bit of an office environment that you've kind of have to locate yourself in a spot where you can go, but you also have to be mobile to move from room to room sometimes. So a laptop was probably one of the better tools to have. So Best Buy, on our rating, we feel very strong. We're bullish on the financials, earnings, and technicals, and obviously experts have kind of been working and staying on top of this trend. I just pointed it out because it's interesting to me that our rating had turned bullish, had a bit of a hiccup here. Now you see that neutral. All that means is something had changed, right? And then it changed again. So currently, where we see Best Buy is still bullish. It is way above its volatility band, and it had a pop today of almost 3%, probably because of that news and maybe a spotlight on halftime report on CNBC, which is a major show and a major channel. And so maybe that popped ahead of earnings, and we've got earnings, it looks like, coming out tomorrow. Estimates are $1.08. So one to watch. We are bullish and have been bullish since mid-May. We remain there today. Stock's slightly oversold, but that's how we see Best Buy. So Chaikin Analytics has the 20-factor model. We're upgrading this on a nightly basis. And if you want to take this for a ride for yourself, get a trial. It's 14 days for free. Take it for a test drive. You get all of the benefits of being a full member. You'll get our daily newsletters. You'll get our weekly ones. at least for 2 weeks, from Mark Chaikin himself and daily from Dan Russo, who's our chief market strategist. If you just want to look at the link down below, it's just chaikinanalytics.com/stock spotlight. Go to that link, get your trial, test it out, become a user, and start finding these ideas on your own.